guys, happy Saturday. It's Joe, and it's time for Pikkit with Joe. Playoff hockey, I tell you, is definitely where it's at. We had some amazing games last night. Congratulations to everyone who tailed me with the LA Kings getting that win, pulling off the upset versus the Edmonton Oilers. Phenomenal game out of the Kings last night. And like I said, I wanted them to punch first in that one as they got that first goal. I was looking at for them to get the win. Now, we saw the Dallas Stars just not show up versus the Minnesota Wild, so the Wild did get that win there. Overall, great set of games on the ice last night. So I'm excited. We've got some more great games today. We have the New York Rangers returning home, looking to get a home win here on home ice. Great value for them today. We're going to break down each and every one of these games. So let's kick it off with the first game on the board. This one kicks off at the top of the hour here, so still time to get your bets in on this. We got the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Winnipeg Jets. Low total in this, total of 5.5. Now, game one, we did see that game finished 5-1. Game two finished 5-2. So we have been seeing these higher scoring games, but I'm not buying it. The heart and soul of these teams, I do think, is their defenses. Their defense are standing so strong, especially the Winnipeg Jets. They need to win this in a lower scoring game. Now they're going to want to control the puck here on home ice. Connor Hellebuyck can go. I have more faith in him at home than I do on the road. Now, the only thing to consider would be if Mark Stone continues to roll hot in this one, it does jeopardize this one for staying under the total because Mark Stone came out absolutely phenomenal, getting his skates really under him in game two. So between him and Jack Eichel, boy, the goals were coming in the last game. I do think Vegas has the opportunity to pull off the upset win here on the road at plus 100. I do think there's so much value, especially because everyone and their grandmother is telling me that they like the Winnipeg Jets today. I don't know, you guys. I think Vegas can roll in here. Like I said, Mark Stone and Jack Eichel playing really solid games in the last game. Connor Hellebuyck is solid here at home. I think if Vegas gets the win, this is a 2-1 style game. So I do think that under 5.5 is definitely where you want to put your money in this one. Now, if you're looking for someone for Winnipeg to score, Adam Lowry has scored at least one goal in the Jets' last 4 of the Jets' last 5 home games. So he has been strong on home ice for sure. I just think this one, be careful with those shots. You can take the shots, but be careful with the goals in this one because I do think you look at the goalie props, take those to the over, but I think these shots come in, the goals struggle to come in. Now, when we look at game two, we did say Vegas win 52% of the faceoffs there. Neither team was really strong on the power play. We did see Winnipeg capitalize once on the power play out of 3 attempts, but Vegas unable to capitalize. Now, this was a hard-hitting game as well. Like I said, defense is really coming out strong. 63 hits for the Vegas Golden Knights, 73 for the Winnipeg Jets. When we look at shots on goal, Vegas put up in the last game 39 shots on goal, and we saw the Winnipeg Jets put up 33. I do think this is one of those games that could be 1-1 going into overtime. I think there is a great opportunity to sprinkle on that overtime. Like I said, low scoring one, little bit of puck luck here for whose puck goes in the back of the net because both of these goalies are outstanding, looking for defenses to control this game. Let's look at the next game on the board, and defense hasn't been something we've been talking about when we've been talking about these two teams. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning will be in Tampa Bay for game 3 today. Now, this series is tied 1 apiece. We did see the Lightning blow Toronto out of the water in that first game 7-3, and then Toronto, the Leafs answered back in game 2. Blowing out the Lightning 7-3. Really interesting in that first period. Both of those teams in both games that won the game scored 3 goals in the first period. When you're looking at that, looking at the first period, over 1.5, I do think is a solid way to go. But I would caution you guys on that total of 6.5. And now, while it should go over that total, and you guys will have to excuse me for a second if someone starts barking here. I just saw kids run up to my front door. So if the barking comes, I'll mute myself for a second, but it doesn't look like it's coming in. My dog is being really good, even though he heard the doorbell. So looking at this matchup between these two, I do think the defenses have to settle things down. I do think goaltending has to settle things down as well. I am looking for them to come out nice and strong on the defensive side. Now, looking at Tampa off a loss, that is a scary situation, Tampa off a loss. I do think this game could be a back and forth. I think Toronto does win one of these games in Tampa. Now, is it today or is it the next game, game 4? I would think that it's probably game 4 here. I do like the Lightning to bounce back off of that loss. So I'm looking at the Lightning here on home ice at -105. I think a stronger bet is to take their team total, get their team total over 3.5. I definitely see them getting 3 goals to be able to win this game. Now, looking at a couple of goal scorers, because we know these goals have been coming in between these two teams. Kucherov for the Tampa Bay Lightning, looking at him for that anytime goal is +195. You got to love the value on Kucherov here. You can also look at Stamkos for the anytime goal. This is a team that can score, and they can score at home. They're one of the highest scoring teams on their home ice. So I do think they will put up the goals today. I expect them to get 4 goals in this one. Now, will Toronto get 3 to push us over? I'm not sure. I do think Toronto gets 2, so we're really tight to this number of 6.5 for sure. Now, the first period, I'm going to look at the over 1.5 again. We saw 3 goals in the first 2 games, so I do think this first period over 3.5 has value at -130. I think if these goalies get hit, it's nice and quick in this game. That will jack our total up as well, you guys. So we'll want to live bet that one to the under once it hits right around 7. Don't touch it at 6.5 here. Let's look at what else. That's about it for this game. Looking at the last game between these two, the Lightning were not able to capitalize on the power play. They went 0-3 on the power play. We did see Toronto go 2-6 on the power play. Both of these teams need to play really disciplined in this game. The Leafs had all the shots on goal last time. They had 37 shots on goal compared to the Lightning's only 22 shots on goal. So it was good to see what the defense of Toronto was able to do in that last game. They still did allow those goals to come in. So I do expect this one again to be another game where those goals come in the first period. Hard hitting though. The Lightning put up 53 hits in the last game and 41 hits for the Toronto Maple Leafs there. Let's jump into the next game. The New Jersey Devils taking on the New York Rangers. Like I said, this is going to be an absolutely incredible game. 8 o'clock Eastern for this matchup. Now, looking at this one here, we know the Rangers have left the series. They made me some shoe money, you guys. I'm excited to make some more money tonight in this matchup. Now, the Devils, kind of in a do-or-die situation. I know it's game 3, but they go down another game here. They are going to... all their hopes and dreams are going to be busted, I tell you. So looking at this, it doesn't look like Vanacek will be starting. Smith expected to start here. Now, he has a 2.13 goals against average, a save percentage of 0.922. So we'll see what he has. I think getting a fresh goalie in is pivotal here because we saw Vanacek just absolutely struggle. He was rattled. So I'm looking at this one. We're going to ride Igor save shots on goal again here. We know Igor has been so phenomenally strong. I do think the Devils get the shots on goal this game. I am looking for them to be able to go over. Scott, you see Tampa winning at home and Toronto winning game 4. Yeah, I'm with you. I do think we have, what do they call it? A zigzag effect where one team wins, one team wins, one team wins, and we get down to game number 7. These two teams are going to battle it out nice and hard in this one. So back to the Devils and the Rangers. I am looking at Igor to go over his save shots. Looking at the last game, New Jersey only put up 24 shots on goal. So we need them to come out harder. But I do think in this one, it's kind of like golf gloves are off. The Devils know they need to get this win. Now, looking at how they were on the road over the season, 28-9-2 on the road. So they had a good road record. Coming into New York, though, is a really hard place to win. They did control the faceoffs in the last game, 55.9%, but just still were not able to get the goals to get the win. The New York Rangers are such an elite team, you guys. They are so strong defensively, offensively, goaltending-wise. They're a complete team, and I actually really do think this team has the ability to go deep. They could make a run for the Stanley Cup here. They get past the Devils, and I don't know, you guys. I really do think they'll get past the second round as well. So sprinkling on the Rangers to make it to the Stanley Cup, I don't think is out of question at this moment with how they're playing. But back to this game, we need both of these teams to play clean. There was so many penalties in the last game. The Rangers went 2 for 7 on the power play. We saw the Devils go 1 for 4 on that power play. Now, last game, we got the Devils in the first period on that puck line, on the money line. We took them. They were the underdog in that one. So we did make some money on the Devils, but that was the only goal they were able to get. So we need the Devils to come out stronger in this one, because I do think we look at the over 6. I'm counting on the Devils to do their share. Now, if you're looking at team totals, or you're looking at a desperate team, they're going to have open ice. And we've got a total of 3.5 for the Rangers at plus 122 to the over. We have a total of 2.5 for the Devils at minus 124 to the over. I am a little cautious about both of those. I could see the Rangers absolutely getting 4 goals in this game, and I could see the Devils getting 3. I really do think this is a game where we see more goals than the total of 6. So I'm just going to hit that over 6. I'm not going to get greedy in this one, but I don't hate it. And if you guys want to buy down that number for the Rangers, buy down the numbers for the Devils, parlay that with something else, I'm not going to hate on it, because I do think this is a 4-3 game. I do think this one, if the Devils play desperate and they find a way to get to the back of Igor's net, a desperate team is scary, you guys. So I think this one could possibly go to OT. I wouldn't be shocked if the Devils were able to get something done. But that being said, I would love to see the Rangers be able to get the sweep. So we'll see what happens here. The Devils getting back out on the road might be a good thing for them in this situation. I do think we have a better showing out of the Devils than we've seen in the first 2 games. So looking at props in this one, I'm going to take Jack Hughes of the New Jersey Devils over 1 goal. 1+ goals coming in at plus 175. Jack Hughes has to get on the board. Timo Meier got on the board last game, and I think we look at his shots in this one. We look at his assists. I do think it's Jack Hughes that does find the back of Igor's net, though. So this is going to be absolutely crazy. Yeah, thank God for Korpisalo last night just standing on his head versus the Edmonton Oilers. Now, take away from that, Joe, though, the Kings allow Connor McDavid to score twice. Those goals came raining in within a couple of minutes there. And Connor McDavid found a way to work out the defense of the LA Kings. So you're seeing game time decision, Vanacek still. Yeah, so it's a hard one here with what they will do. Definitely keep an eye on who they're going to put in. I do think either way we could look at the over, especially Vanacek is a strong goalie, you guys. He's one of those goalies where we haven't questioned him all season. He started off way hotter, rolling into the playoffs. This is where he has seen his struggles. So, Joe, you know we are going to ride with him here, Grubauer here over his save shots. We're going to keep riding these goalies that are paying us each and every night, and the Rangers over 3.5. And that's the thing. How can you not love the Rangers over 3.5 at plus 122? I think 4-3 win here. So I would be really shocked if it was the Devils 4-3 win. I do think the Devils have to make more of an impact. But at plus 122, the Rangers have dominated in these games. They've scored 5 goals in both games, 5-1, both of these games. Could we see the Devils come out and make a 5-1 game here? I don't see it, you guys. I do think either way, we see the Rangers put the goals on the board. Just too talented with Patrick Kane, Chris Kreider, Tarasenko. This team is loaded here. So I do think, give me the over in this game. It's just too desperate here for the Devils. I do think the first period of the New York Rangers on home ice, we took the Devils the first period of their last game. They were on home ice. They needed that win. We took them there at cash. I'm going to take the New York Rangers first period on the money line here versus the Devils. That's at -130. And I do think that is another solid way to go in this one. The last game on the board, you guys, we have the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Seattle Kraken. Now, this series is tied 1-1 apiece. And to say the Avs are probably disappointed in themselves right now is an understatement. They had to fight their way back to get the win in game 2. The Kraken shocked me in game 1. I couldn't believe how strong they came out. Game 2, exactly the same thing, you guys. They came out so strong in the first period, going up 2-0 over the reigning Stanley Cup winners last season. I do think on home ice tonight, the Seattle Kraken come out absolutely incredible. I'm looking for them to find the net first in this one on Georgiev. I think the Seattle Kraken get up in the first period. Taking them in the first period at +118, I think is worth putting money on. I like this Kraken team. They're playing hard. They're never giving up. Neither of these teams, though, could score on the power play in the last game. They both went 0-2 on the power play, both coming in with strong penalty kills. Now, the Colorado Avalanche have been more physical. They got 50 hits in the last game compared to 40 hits for the Seattle Kraken. And the shots on goal, absolutely lights out for the Avs. 41 shots on goal. Grubauer is standing on his freaking head. You got to ride his save shots to the over again because we know Colorado is going to get these shots. The Seattle got 29 shots on goal in the last game. I'm expecting a little bit more out of them on home ice offensively. But I think in this one, Kraken come out hot out of the gate. They dominate the first period just like they did in the last 2 games. So I'm going to take them on the money line in the first period at +118. These two teams are so phenomenally strong. So this is going to be an absolute battle. I didn't expect the Kraken to come out as strong. In game 1, we did see both of those teams score in the first period. Game 2, it was only the Seattle Kraken. So I think the Kraken do what they did in game 2 here. This total at 6, I lean under, you guys. It's really hard for me to hit the over when these teams didn't score on their penalty or on the power play. So I lean to the under, but would I be shocked with a 4-3 game? No, and I think the 4-3 comes if we go to OT. I'm going to look at this one going to OT as well. I think this one has every opportunity to go to overtime. I think this all comes down to Grubauer. If Seattle's able to pull it off, Grubauer is absolutely lights out in this game. Tampa is even more money right now. I like it. That anytime goal for Chris. Kraken will not lose. Yeah, I don't see them losing their first game here, Joe, and I don't see them losing that first period either. I think this is another one where they just come out hot out of the gate. I do think Colorado probably wins this series, walks out of this series, but the Kraken are not going to go away easily. So it's going to be a fantastic one. Chris liking Seattle in the first 2. I'm so glad that you guys are liking that for sure. Scott, we're just jumping to that point. We're going to do the parlays, the best bets. I tell you, I like 5 million things today. Like seriously, all my bets cash today. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow's show will be in, I don't know. I can't get away that quick. I wish I could, but might be vacation time. Okay, let's look at these. But I can't go on vacation before the playoffs, so I'll book a vacation if these bets hit today. Yeah, that energy is going to be insane. It's going to be so fantastic. I wish I could go there. The start of the Kraken games look absolutely amazing with what they do already. I can imagine it when you're there. When you go to OT, do you have a full unit or quarter or a half? You know what, Chris? I bet everything exactly the same, everything full unit. You can sprinkle on OT, and that's what I recommend is putting a little sprinkle on it. I normally just bet everything straight across the board at the same because I get frustrated with myself when I don't put more money on something that I did have confidence in. So when I have confidence in something, when I'm willing to bet something, I just put it all straight across the board like that. It is going to be absolutely wild. I cannot wear a Kraken jersey on there. Actually, you know what? I could. There is no hate for the Kraken at all. I think it's because it's a new organization. You know, you have these new clubs built between the Kraken and Vegas, and there is no family bias behind them. If I threw on a Kings jersey, which I love the Kings, my mother, I think, would disown me. So any thoughts on the over? Yes, Edward, we like the over. I love the over between the Devils and the Rangers. I think it's a high-scoring one. So let's do the recap, you guys. Let's build the parlay, and we'll get to the best bets. The Vegas Golden Knights and the Winnipeg Jets. You guys, this one kicking off right away. I do think there's value on Vegas here. We're going to leave this out of the parlay for anyone who is watching late. I think there's value on Vegas at plus 100 to pull off the road, winning, go 2-1 in this series. Do I think they end up splitting in Winnipeg? Absolutely. I don't think the Winnipeg Jets are going away easy either. This one screams under for me. I'm going to look at the under 5.5. I think Mark Stone, though, could make this one go over because he was absolutely on fire last game. Could we see a 1-1 going to overtime? Absolutely. This one is going to be a tight, low-scoring defensive battle. Best bet is the under in this game. The next game, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. This one kicks off at 7 o'clock Eastern, so we'll throw this into the parlay. Samsonov and Vasilevsky expected in goal for these two teams. Now, this series is tied 1 apiece, and we know we've had major high-scoring games with each team getting a blowout win. I don't see that happening in this one, but I do see that first period being high-scoring. In both the games, the team that won scored 3 goals in the first period. So in this one, we've got a total of 1.5 in the first period, minus 130 to the over. I like it. I think that is where we're finding value in this game. The total is 6.5. I don't know if I really want to hit that over. I want to wait till this total goes to 7 if we see those quick goals coming in and hit it under. I think we have better opportunity for the defenses to step up, the goaltending to step up, and things to calm down here in game 3. Be more like a game that we would expect out of these two. That being said, this game, I do think the Lightning score over 3 goals in this one. Over 3 is at minus 130. Minus 120 for the over 3 goals. So I think this is probably a 4-2 style game for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Like I said, the Lightning off a loss are scary. Kucherov here for the Tampa Bay Lightning for that anytime goals coming in at plus 195. You know, you got to look at Ryan O'Reilly. He's been absolutely phenomenal out on the ice for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Austin Matthews, look at those shots on goal in this game. When we look at the last game, the Toronto Maple Leafs had so many shots. So looking at their shots on goal, I would absolutely do. I would also look at Stamkos for the shots on goal in this one for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think both of these teams will get these shots today. So for the parlay, I'm going to take the Leafs and the Lightning first period over 1.5. I do think the Lightning bounce back in this one. We got a short price at home at minus 105. I think it's a solid way to go. And I also do think you look at those shot props. The New Jersey Devils and the New York Rangers. To recap this game, you guys, it's the Rangers. Could we get the sweep out of the Rangers? Absolutely. Minus 145. I don't want to put the money on them because the New Jersey Devils are absolutely desperate. Now, I do think the Rangers come out and control that first period. I think they win the first period. Looking at the Rangers on the money line in the first period is coming in at minus 130, and I do think it's a solid way to go. Now, this game goes over to me all day long, and that's what I'm going to throw in the parlay. The Devils and the Rangers over that number of 6. Now, there are some 5.5s out there still. I saw a couple, so go shop those as well. I would look at Patrick Kane to come in really strong. Chris Kreider, Tarasenko. For the Rangers, you want to look at any of their goals today, points today. I would look at their shots as well. For the New Jersey Devils, I do think Jack Hughes for the anytime goal at plus 175. You just can't pass up on. He needs to be pivotal in this game here today. Now, Igor saves shots on goal, something that I'd probably look at as well. I do think Igor comes on and has another solid day. I think the Rangers, though, have a tighter game with the Devils in this one. I don't see this one being a blowout game. I do think the Devils get these goals today. Can they pull off the upset? Absolutely. I'm just not sure if it comes in this game or if it comes in an absolutely desperate game in game 4 where they don't want to get swept. So I'm putting the weight on the Devils to be able to add to help us go over that total. The Rangers in the first period I do like as well at -130. That last game for the parlay between the Avs and the Seattle Kraken, I tell you guys, this one is going to be off the charts good tonight. I think this one, prime opportunity to go to overtime between these two. If this goes to overtime, this does go over that total. I think 3-3 going to OT. Grubauer has been so phenomenally strong. We've got to look at his save shots on goal as well in this one. But for the full game, unless it goes to OT, I struggle with taking this game over 6 because I think if this goes to OT, what happens is we've got a 3-2 style game with one of these teams up, the other one pulling their goalie and getting and digging so deep. So I will live bet this total. We see those goals in that first period. We're going to get a 6.5. We're going to get a 7. At the 7 is where I want to take this game to the under. So that's where I'm going to go with that, you guys. It's going to be an incredible game on the ice. I do think the Kraken take the first period, taking the Kraken on the money line in the first period at +118. I can't resist. They are on home ice in front of their home crowd. This is going to be an absolutely magical moving first period. The Kraken need this win. So I'm going to throw the Kraken. I know it's +118. Actually, put them on the puck line in the first period at +0.5. It's going to bring your parlay odds down a little bit, but if the Avs go up 1-0, we will still be able to, if they tie it up, if they go 1-1, we'll still be able to get the puck line at +0.5. So that long shot parlay isn't so long because we've only got 4 games, the other one kicking off right away, so we didn't add it. The Leafs and the Lightning over 1.5 for the first period. The Devils and the Rangers over 6 for the game. And the Kraken on the puck line +0.5 goal in the first period. No, I don't think the Seattle Kraken will be too hyped in the first. I think what we've seen out of this team is they have absolutely controlled parts of the game versus the Colorado Avalanche. I think it can only work in their advantage, the home crowd being on home ice coming out here. I do think we see them come out so strong in this one. Chris, you got that 5.5. I do like the 5.5. It's a great way to go. The Garden is absolutely going to be rocking tonight. Yeah, for that parlay, find the 5.5s, you guys, just in case. I do think it's a better way to go. So the Lightning and the Leafs over 1.5, the Devils and the Rangers over 5.5, even if you pay a little bit more juice, and the Kraken on the puck line in the first period. It's going to be a phenomenal day of hockey. You guys, I am live on Sports Grid from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock Eastern. So come by, join me. Dubs and I made some freaking good money last night live betting these games. We're going to make some more money today. It's the two of us, Dubs Anderson and myself, for 3 hours live betting everything that is going on. I can't wait. I'm excited to make some more money. I'm excited to watch these games. Let me know below this video what you're betting, what you're liking today, which games you are most excited for. So I can't wait for all of these to kick off. Again, if you're just joining us, that Vegas game kicking off right away between the Winnipeg Jets. I do think there is value on Vegas here. Plus or -105. Now we've seen some movement. I do think the under 5.5 at -120 is a solid way to go. And that first period, let me just see what the under 1.5 is in the first period. The under 1.5 is -112. I see it. I really do. Joe, believing in Vegas. Joe, you believe so hard in these teams. I love when you write in capital letters like that. Both Kraken first period goals come on turnovers, I think. So they need to. Nick, the Avs absolutely need to tighten up here. Can they do it the first game on the road with this atmosphere in Seattle? I don't know. There is no Oilers jersey. Mike, if you want to see an Oilers jersey, you should call my mother because apparently she's rooting for the Edmonton Oilers out of nowhere. We still need to have a conversation. You guys remember last year in the playoffs, I sat here and said my mother's a traitor. All of a sudden she had an Oilers jersey on. Yeah, she was over at my house watching game 1, rooting for the Edmonton Oilers. I don't know what happened there. Okay, you guys. That's it for Pikkit. Remember, join me 5 to 8 o'clock Eastern on Sports Grid. So much more to go over. We'll be live betting NBA, MLB, NHL. Everything we got tonight is going to be freaking fantastic. My favorite prop bets, Jack Hughes for the anytime goal, Kucherov for the anytime goal, Grubauer, say shots on goal to the over. He is absolutely phenomenal. You guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. You don't even know how good it feels to have you guys join me here every single day. The show wouldn't be possible without you. Thank you for joining me. I wish you all the best in all of your bets today. If you cash, let me know. I want to hear what you're betting, what you're winning, and nothing makes me happier. So you guys have a good one.